Chosen one. Freeze your attention right here. Do not let your mind wander. You did not click on this video by accident, and the heaviness you have been feeling in your spirit for the last few days is not an accident either. Take a second and acknowledge that pressure, that strange weight sitting on your chest, that tension sitting right behind your neck that no massage seems to fix. The world calls that anxiety. The enemy calls that depression. But God told me to tell you that it is altitude pressure. You are feeling it because you have just ascended into a spiritual zone where 99% of people cannot survive. They turned back when it got hard. They quit when it got lonely. But you kept walking. You are the 1% who survived the filtration process. And that pressure is not trying to crush you. It is trying to crown you. But there is a specific code of conduct for this new altitude. If you try to operate here with your old mindset, you will crash. So right now, I need you to do one thing. Quiet your thoughts. Command your spirit to come to attention. You are about to receive the briefing that changes your status from survivor to sovereign. Listen to me closely. I know exactly where you are standing right now. I am not talking about your physical location. I am talking about the coordinates of your soul. You are in a season that feels like a paradox. You have grown so much. You have prayed more, forgave more, and endured more than anyone in your bloodline. By all logic, you should be celebrating, but instead of feeling joyful, you feel exhausted. Not the kind of tired that sleep fixes. It is a deep, soul-level fatigue. You walk into a room full of people, maybe even your own family or co-workers, and you physically feel your stomach tighten. You smile, you nod, you say the right things, but underneath the mask, you feel like you are behind a glass wall. You are screaming, but no one hears you. You look at them talking about the weather, about politics, about the same drama they have been talking about for 10 years, and you feel a sudden, violent urge to just leave, to run away. And then the thought comes, that dark, whispering thought that hits you usually around 3 a.m. when you are staring at the ceiling. It says, "Am I crazy? Am I just imagining all of this greatness to make myself feel better? If I am so chosen, why am I so lonely? If I am so blessed, why is it so hard?" Stop. Breathe. You are not crazy. You are shifting. Before I explain the science of this shift, I need you to make a commitment. Do not treat this as just another video you watch while you are doing the dishes. We are going to go deep today. I am going to hand you the Royal Silence Protocol. I am going to give you the Stewardship Decision Tree so you do not lose the wealth that is coming. And I am going to reveal the 7 specific forms of confrontation the enemy will use against you in the next 40 days. If you leave halfway through, you will have the diagnosis without the cure. You will have the crown without the sword. So, stay with me. This is your manual. Now, let me validate what you are feeling with the Word of God, so your spirit can finally exhale. You know the verse, Matthew 22, verse 14. Many are called, but few are chosen. You have heard it 1,000 times. But most people miss the violence hidden in that verse. The Greek word for chosen is eklektos. It does not just mean special. It comes from 2 root words that literally mean to pick out and to separate. Think about that. To be chosen means to be picked out of the group, to be separated from the whole. When a surgeon prepares a patient for a heart transplant, they do not put them in a crowded room with everyone else. They put them in a sterile room. Isolation. They separate them, not to punish them, but to protect them, because the procedure they are about to undergo is so critical, They cannot afford to be infected by the germs of the common environment. Chosen one, your loneliness is not a sign of rejection. It is a sign of sterilization. God has put you in a sterile room because He is performing a heart transplant. He is taking out the heart of a slave and putting in the heart of a king. The reason you cannot tolerate the drama, the gossip, and the low-frequency conversations anymore is not because you are arrogant. It is because you are kadosh. In Hebrew, the word for holy is kadosh. And kadosh does not mean you are perfect. It does not mean you act religious. Kadosh literally means set apart, cut off, different. You are feeling the pain of being cut off. You are mourning the loss of your ability to fit in. You try to go back to how things used to be, to laugh at the same jokes, to tolerate the same dysfunction, but you physically cannot do it. Your spirit rejects it like a bad organ transplant. That is the proof. That is the certificate. You have graduated. You passed the wilderness test. You survived the crushing. You kept your faith when you had zero evidence. And now you have entered the 1% phase. But listen to me. This is where it gets dangerous. This is where most chosen ones fail. Right after they pass the test. Because there is a massive misconception about what this graduation means. You think that because you passed the test, the struggle is over. You think the 1% phase is a vacation. You think it means sitting on a beach while blessings fall from the sky. And because you think that, you are currently walking into a trap that has destroyed more destinies than the wilderness ever did. The enemy is not trying to stop you with pain anymore. He is waiting for you to make one specific mistake that 99% of graduates make in their first week. The mistake is thinking that the graduation is the destination. You think that because you survived the wilderness, the next phase is a vacation. You think the 1% phase is about putting your feet up, exhaling, and finally getting to do whatever you want. Let us be brutally honest for a second. I know the thoughts you have been having in the quiet moments of your day. You are saying to God, Lord, I fought the bears. I fought the lions. I forgave the people who stabbed me in the back. I stayed faithful when I had $0 in my bank account. Now, where is my hammock? Where is my rest? I just want to be paid, and I want to be left alone. You feel that, don't you? That deep desire to just check out, to disconnect from the battle and sleep for a month. You feel like you are owed a season of ease. And that right there is the false summit. It looks like the top of the mountain. It feels like the finish line. But if you set up camp there, you will die. Because God did not bring you through the fire just to let you retire. He did not forge you into a weapon just to hang you on a wall as a decoration. If you are looking for a life of no responsibility, you are in the wrong video. You are looking for the reward of a servant. But God is trying to give you the reward of a sovereign. Here is the hard truth that separates the chosen from the called. The reward for passing the test of endurance is not less work. It is higher stakes work. The reward for faithfulness in the pit is not a resort. It is a kingdom. Look at the pattern. Look at Joseph in the book of Genesis. This is the blueprint for your life right now. Joseph spent 13 years in the ultimate wilderness, betrayed by his brothers, sold into slavery, falsely accused of a crime he did not commit, and forgotten in a dungeon. If anyone deserved a vacation, it was Joseph. But when Pharaoh called him out of the dungeon, what happened? Genesis 41 does not say Joseph went to the spa. It does not say he took a year off to find himself. The scripture says that on the very same day he was released, he was given the signet ring of authority and put in charge of the entire economy of Egypt. He went from a prison cell straight into the highest pressure job in the known world. He had to manage a global famine. He had to organize the grain distribution for millions of people. He had to make life or death decisions daily. Do you understand what I am saying to you? The blessing was not the relaxation. The blessing was the authority. The blessing was the power to influence the outcome of history. You have been crying out for the blessing, but your spirit has been fantasizing about the break, and that is why the breakthrough feels blocked. Because God cannot release a king's weight to someone with a vacation mindset. If He gave you the millions you are praying for right now, while you just want to escape, that money would destroy you. It would make you lazy, not lethal. You are entering the season of sovereignty. A sovereign does not clock out. A sovereign does not look for the weekend. A sovereign rules. And this brings us to the shadow. The real reason you are feeling this heaviness. There is a part of you that is terrified of this. I want you to close your eyes for a moment. Do not change your posture. Just turn your focus inward. Imagine for a second that tomorrow morning you wake up and everything you prayed for is there. The bank account is full. The influence is massive. Millions of people are looking to you for answers. You are the one in charge. Notice what your body just did. Did your stomach drop? Did your breath get short? That reaction is the shadow. It is the fear of blessing. See, we talk a lot about the fear of failure, but for a chosen one, the fear of success is much stronger, because deep down, in the raw, unfiltered corners of your mind, there is a voice whispering, what if I am not ready? What if I get the power and I turn into the very people I hate? What if I fail publicly and everyone sees that I am a fraud? It feels safer to be the victim, doesn't it? It feels safer to be the one struggling, the one waiting, the one crying out to God. Because when you are the victim, no one expects anything from you. The cage is uncomfortable, but it is familiar. You know the rules of the struggle. But the throne is terrifying. The throne demands that you show up. The throne demands that you stop blaming your past, stop blaming your enemies, and start creating your future. You are afraid that the blessing will change you, and you are right. It will. It has to. You cannot be the same person with the crown that you were in the cave. Accept that fear. Do not fight it. That fear is not a sign of weakness. It is a sign of respect for the weight of glory. The fact that you are scared tells me you are ready, because only a fool rushes toward the throne without trembling. You are ready to rule. You are ready to pick up the mantle of Joseph and govern. But there is a ghost from your past that is trying to stop you. There is an old frequency, a specific type of gravitational pull that is trying to drag you back into the seat of the victim. To sit firmly on your new throne, you have to understand the science of why you are suddenly so alone and why the people you love can no longer come with you. Let me tell you about someone who stood exactly where you are standing right now. I will not use her real name, but if she is watching this, she knows who she is. Let's go back 8 months ago. This chosen one had spent 5 years in a brutal wilderness season. She had been passed over for promotions, ignored by her family, and stuck in a financial drought that seemed to have no end. She prayed every single day for a breakthrough. She begged God for a position of influence. Then, on a Tuesday morning, the breakthrough arrived. But it did not look like she expected. It came in the form of a contract that was emailed to her at 9 a.m. It was a leadership position that would double her salary, but it would also require her to step into a level of authority she had never held before. She sat in her car in the parking lot, staring at her phone screen. I want you to see this moment. She wasn't dancing. She wasn't calling her friends to celebrate. She was trembling. Her thumb was hovering over the decline button. Her breathing was shallow. She told me later that she physically felt like she was going to throw up. Why? Because the loop in her mind was screaming, "You are an imposter, you cannot handle this, they are going to find out you are broken, you should stay safe, you should stay small." She was terrified of the responsibility. She was terrified that the blessing was actually a trap. But in that moment of panic, she remembered something. She remembered that fear is not a stop sign, it is a compass. She realized that the terror she felt was simply her old identity dying so her new identity could be born. So, with hands that were literally shaking, she tapped the accept button. She threw the phone onto the passenger seat and just wept. Not tears of joy, but tears of release. Now, fast forward to today. 8 months later, she didn't fail. In fact, she turned that entire department around. She is walking in a level of authority and abundance that her family has never seen. The poverty cycle is broken, the fear is gone, but something else happened. Something she didn't expect. And this is why I am telling you this story. As soon as she accepted that position, as soon as she shifted into that sovereignty mindset, her phone stopped ringing. The friends she used to complain with, they stopped calling. The family members she used to support, they started acting strange, making passive-aggressive comments at dinner, or just avoiding her altogether. She came to me and asked, "Did I do something wrong? Did the money change me? Did I become arrogant?" And I had to tell her what I am about to tell you. Because right now, you are looking at your own life, looking at the empty chairs at your table, and wondering the same thing. Listen to me. You did not lose those people because you became a bad person. You lost them because you changed your frequency. This is not just spiritual, this is physics. Think about a radio. If you are broadcasting at 88.5 and your friends are receiving at 102.7, you cannot hear each other. It does not matter how much you love them. It does not matter how loud you scream. The signal does not connect because the frequencies are mismatched. For years, you stayed on their frequency. You lowered your vibration to match their complaints. You dimmed your light to match their shadows. You stayed in the victim mentality so they would feel comfortable around you. That is why you were exhausted. It takes a massive amount of energy for a giant to shrink himself into the shape of a dwarf. But when you finally accepted your calling, when you finally said yes to the crown, you shifted frequencies. You went from AM to FM. You went from the frequency of needs to the frequency of authority. And here is the hard pill to swallow. The people who fell away, they did not reject you. They simply could not survive at your new altitude. Look at the prophet Amos, chapter 3, verse 3. The Bible asks a rhetorical question. Can two walk together except they be agreed? We quote that all the time, but we miss the depth of the Hebrew word for agreed. The word is ya'ad. It does not just mean having the same opinion. It means to meet at a designated time and a designated place for a specific purpose. It implies a synchronized destiny. When you shifted into the 1% phase, your designated place changed, your appointment changed. You moved to the throne room, and they stayed in the waiting room. You cannot walk together if you are walking to two different destinations. So stop trying to text them to explain yourself. I know you have typed out that long message 5 times and deleted it. Stop trying to apologize for your elevation. Stop trying to drag them up the mountain with you. You will only suffocate them, and they will only pull you down. Rejection is simply divine redirection. God removed them because they were anchors, not sails. He cleared the room because the conversation you are about to have with him requires total silence. So the reluctant ruler signed the contract. She lost the crowd, but she gained the kingdom. She realized that the vacuum created by their departure was actually space created for her new assignment. But now that you understand the mechanism, now that you know why you are lonely and why you are scared, we have a problem. Understanding the shift is not enough to maintain it. You can step into the 1% phase today and fall out of it tomorrow if you do not protect it. To stay in this frequency, to keep this crown on your head without it crushing you, you need a tool. There is a specific weapon that every true king and queen uses to govern their realm. It is the #1 weapon of sovereignty. But ironically, it is the first thing most chosen ones throw away when they get excited. You have been using the weapon of the servant, your words. You have been explaining, defending, and oversharing. But a sovereign uses a different weapon. If you want to hold this new level of power, you must learn to use the weapon that looks like weakness to the world, but acts like a fortress in the spirit. The weapon is silence. But not just the absence of noise. I am talking about royal silence. Strategic, calculated, heavy silence. And here is the major twist I promised you. This is the revelation that changes everything. Up until this moment, you thought you were chosen to be a leader. You thought you were chosen to be a king or a queen, to rule over your circumstances. And while that is true, it is only the surface level. That is your job description, but it is not your nature. Your nature is not just a ruler. Your nature is a portal. You need to catch this in your spirit. A king governs what is already on earth, but a portal brings things from heaven down to earth. The reason you are the 1% is not because you are smarter. It is because you are the access point. You are the bridge between the divine realm and the earthly reality. Look at Genesis 28, verse 17. Jacob wakes up from his dream and says, "How dreadful is this place! This is none other than the house of God, and this is the gate of heaven." The Hebrew word for gate is sha'ah. It does not just mean a door. It means a marketplace, a court, a place where exchange happens. A sha'ah is where the supply of one city enters the demand of another. Chosen one, you are the sha'ah. You are the human technology God is using to download new ideas, new wealth, and new healing into your bloodline. The breakthrough is not coming to you, it is coming through you. And this is why silence is your weapon. Think about a pressure cooker. How does it cook meat so fast? It seals the steam inside. It does not let the pressure escape. If you open the valve too early, the pressure drops and the process stops. Your mouth is the valve. Every time you get a divine download and you immediately run to tell your friends, you are opening the valve. You are releasing the spiritual pressure that was meant to manifest the miracle. You think you are just sharing good news, but in the spirit, you are leaking your power. You are dissipating the energy required to birth the promise. The enemy knows you are a portal. He knows he cannot stop God from sending the download to you, so he tries to get you to leak it. He sends people to trigger you, to bait you into explaining yourself, or to flatter you into oversharing. He wants you to talk your destiny to death before it is even born. So, how do you stop the leak? How do you maintain the pressure until the manifestation is solid? You need a protocol. You need a system. I am going to give you the exact framework that every high-level chosen one uses to protect their portal. It is called the Royal Silence Protocol, and it operates on the rule of 3 circles. I want you to visualize 3 concentric circles around you right now. Do this in your mind. The first circle is the innermost circle. This is the Holy of Holies. This circle contains only 2 beings, you and God. The rule for Circle 1 is simple: total transparency. This is where you scream, this is where you cry, this is where you tell God your wildest dreams and your darkest fears. But hear me, the dreams God plants in Circle 1 must never leave Circle 1 until they are tangible. If God gives you a business idea, you do not post it on Facebook. You do not tell your cousin. You keep it in the incubator of silence. The second circle is the inner circle. This circle is tiny. It holds maybe 1 or 2 people. Your spouse or a covenant mentor. That is it. The rule for Circle 2 is prayer cover. You only share things here if you need spiritual agreement. You do not share for validation. You do not share for applause. You share because you need a prayer partner to help you hold the pressure. If they cannot pray heaven down, they do not belong in Circle 2. Then there is Circle 3, the outer circle. This is everyone else, your extended family, your co-workers, your social media, the world. The rule for Circle 3 is results only. You never tell Circle 3 what you are going to do. You only show them what you have done. You do not announce the pregnancy. You announce the birth. You do not talk about the business plan. You send them the link to the store. Now, let's practice this. Because the enemy is going to test this protocol within 24 hours. Imagine you are at a family gathering tomorrow. You are sitting there, minding your business, holding your portal shut. And here comes that one relative. You know the one who disguises their jealousy as concern. They sit next to you, looking at you with that skeptical smirk, and they say, "So, I heard you are starting another project. How is that going? Is it going to fail like the last one? Or are you finally going to get a real job?" Freeze. Do you feel that heat rising in your chest? That is the urge to leak. That is your old identity wanting to defend itself. Your mouth wants to open and say, "Actually, I have investors lined up and God told me this is the one. Do not do it." That is the trap. If you speak, you lose. Instead, I want you to engage the king's smile. It is a smile that does not reach your eyes. It is polite, but it is a wall. You look at them, you smile, and you say, "Everything is in God's hands. Thank you for asking," and then you turn away. That is it. You gave them nothing. You kept the pressure inside. You protected the portal. And in the spirit, you just won the war. You left them confused, and you kept your power intact. This is how a sovereign moves. You move in silence until your results make the noise. But listen to me carefully. Silence protects the vision, but silence cannot manage the harvest. Protecting the idea is one thing. Handling the physical manifestation is another. Because here is what is about to happen. As you seal your portal and build the pressure, the dam is going to break. Resources are going to flood in. I am talking about the wealth of the wicked being transferred into the hands of the righteous. But if you apply the royal silence without the second protocol, that wealth will flow through your hands like water. You will get it, and you will lose it. Because there is a specific trap the enemy sets for chosen ones the moment the money hits their bank account. It is a trap that looks like generosity, but it is actually theft. To keep what is coming, you need to understand the difference between a test and a gift. Silence shields the vision, but stewardship shields the resources. And this is where the rubber meets the road. This is where most chosen ones disqualify themselves from the 1% phase. You have prayed for the wealth of the wicked to be transferred to the righteous. You have quoted the scriptures about overflow. But hear me clearly. If God transfers $1 million into the hands of a person with a poverty mindset, that money will not be a blessing. It will be a curse. It will amplify your dysfunction. It will fund your distractions. And within a year, it will be gone, and you will be worse off than before. A sovereign does not just spend, a sovereign governs. So, I am going to give you the second tool you need to maintain your position on the throne. It is called the stewardship decision tree. The next time unexpected money comes into your life, and it will come, likely within the next 40 days, I want you to pause. Do not rush to pay a bill. Do not rush to buy that thing you have been wanting. Do not rush to treat your friends to dinner. Freeze. Look at the money and ask this one question. Is this a test, or is this a gift? Most people think all money is a gift. That is a lie. In the 1% phase, most initial money is a test. Here is how you tell the difference. If the amount is just enough to solve an immediate crisis, or if it comes right when you are desperate to buy something that feeds your ego, it is a test. God is watching to see. Will you consume the seed, or will you plant it? If you consume it, you fail the test and the flow stops. You remain in the cycle of survival. But if the amount brings a deep sense of peace, and if it comes after you have already proven you can be faithful with little, then it might be a gift. But you never assume. You use the 3-day rule. When the transfer hits your account, you do not touch it for 3 days. You let your emotions settle. You let the dopamine of having money wear off. And then you ask the Holy Spirit, Lord, I am the manager, not the owner. What do you want to do with your money? Let me take you to a specific moment to show you what this looks like in real life. I want to tell you about a man we will call David. Let's zoom into his kitchen table, late on a Thursday night about 2 years ago. The only light in the room is the blue glow from his smartphone. He is staring at his banking app. His eyes are red because he hasn't slept properly in weeks. The screen shows a negative balance. On the table next to him is a stack of unopened envelopes. He knows what they are: final notices, collection warnings. The physical weight of that debt is sitting on his chest like a concrete block. He had been praying for a miracle. God, just get me out of this hole. Suddenly, a notification pops up. A deposit, $5,000, unexpected. It was a tax rebate he had completely forgotten about. In that moment, his heart leaped. The adrenaline hit his system. His first thought, the raw, unfiltered thought of a survivor was, yes, I can finally breathe. I can buy that new laptop I wanted. I can take a trip. I can show everyone I'm not a failure. He almost transferred the money to his spending account right then and there. But David had learned the stewardship decision tree. He stopped. He took his hand off the phone. He realized, this is not a harvest. This is a seed. He waited 3 days. It was painful. The money was sitting there, screaming to be spent. But on the 3rd day, he heard the instruction clearly. Pay off the smallest debt completely, and sow 10% into the mentor who fed your spirit. He didn't buy the laptop. He didn't take the trip. He drove his old, broken-down car for another 6 months. To the outside world, nothing had changed. But in the spirit, everything had changed. He had passed the test of management, and because he didn't eat the seed, the harvest exploded. 40 days later, the company he worked for went through a restructuring. Usually, that means layoffs. But because David had shifted his frequency to authority, the CEO called him in. They didn't fire him. They created a new position for him, a position that paid 3 times his old salary, plus a signing bonus that cleared the rest of his debt in one stroke. If David had spent that first $5,000 on his ego, he would have missed the promotion. Why? Because spiritual authority and financial stewardship are linked. You cannot rule a city if you cannot rule a paycheck. David moved from a debtor to a lender, not because he got lucky, but because he treated the resource as a responsibility, not a relief. This is your mandate, chosen one. When the resources come, and they are coming, you must govern them. You are not a bucket that catches water and holds it. You are a pipe. The water flows through you to water the ground God has assigned to you. If you block the pipe with your own greed, the pressure will burst the pipe. If you keep the pipe open and direct the flow where God says, the source will never run dry. So now, look at where you stand. You have the identity. You are a portal. You have the weapon, royal silence. You have the management system, stewardship. You are dangerous now. You are no longer the helpless victim crying in the dark. You are a fortified city, and the enemy knows it. He is watching you. He sees that he can no longer stop you with poverty. He sees that he can no longer stop you with silence. He sees that the old traps of depression and lack are not working on you anymore. So he is changing his strategy. He is recalling the low-level demons that used to annoy you, and he is dispatching a special forces unit. He knows he cannot defeat you with a frontal assault, so he is going to try to infiltrate your perimeter. In the next 40 days, you are going to face 7 specific forms of confrontation. These are not random bad days. These are calculated, sniper-level attacks designed to take you out right before your coronation. You need to know exactly what they look like, because the first one usually arrives disguised as a friend. The first thing you need to understand about this new level of warfare is that the enemy has lost his ability to touch your substance. He tried to break you with poverty, and you are still standing. He tried to break you with rejection, and you are still standing. He realizes now that you are too resilient to be destroyed by direct force. So, the strategy has shifted. The spirit of Pharaoh is gone, but the spirit of Delilah has entered the chat. The goal is no longer to crush you. The goal is to distract you. The goal is to get you to open your own door to him. He wants to drain your energy on things that look like battles, but are actually just diversions. In the next 40 days, as you walk toward your coronation, you are going to see 4 specific external forms of confrontation. If you can spot them, you can disarm them. But if you react to them with your old emotions, they will delay your promise for another year. The first form is the distraction disguised as an opportunity. You have been praying for doors to open, but be careful, because the enemy also has keys. Now that your frequency is high, people are going to start noticing you. You are going to get offers, a business partnership, a relationship proposal, a sudden invitation to join a new project. On the surface, it will look like the breakthrough. It will look shiny. It will stroke your ego. But here is the trap. The enemy will send you good things to keep you from the God thing. He wants you so busy managing a mediocrity that you have no energy left for the miracle. Here is the micro test. When the offer comes, check your spirit. Does it bring peace, or does it bring a frantic sense of rushing? Does it align with the vision in your circle 1, or does it just promise quick money or quick fame? If you feel a check in your spirit, even if the logic looks perfect, walk away. A king does not chase every rabbit. The second form is the false alliance. In the Bible, when Joshua was conquering the promised land, a group of people called the Gibeonites tricked him. They put on old clothes and brought moldy bread to make it look like they had traveled from far away. They flattered Joshua, and because Joshua did not consult God, he signed a treaty with them. That treaty became a thorn in his side for generations. You are about to meet your Gibeonites. These are people who will show up in your life in the next few weeks. They will speak your spiritual language. They will say, "Hallelujah." They will tell you how amazing you are. They will want to be close to you. But pay attention to your body when you are around them. Do you feel drained after talking to them? Does the atmosphere feel muddy? Do they only want to talk about themselves or use your connection? Do not sign a treaty with anyone just because they are nice to you. You are carrying high voltage power now. If you plug a low voltage person into your destiny, you will blow a fuse. Love them, but keep them in circle 3. The third form is the most dangerous one. It is the offense. This is the sniper shot. The enemy knows exactly where your buttons are. He knows your insecurities. He knows your history. So, he is going to send someone to disrespect you publicly. It might be a comment on your social media. It might be a passive-aggressive remark from a co-worker. It might be a family member bringing up a past failure at the dinner table. Watch your reaction in that moment. I want you to visualize it. You see the comment. You hear the words. Immediately, the heat rises up the back of your neck. Your face gets hot. Your heart starts pounding against your ribs. Your thumb hovers over the keyboard, ready to type a paragraph to defend yourself. You play out the argument in your head, destroying them with your logic. Stop. Pull your hand back. That anger? That is the bait. The enemy wants you to step off your throne and down into the mud to wrestle with a pig. If you wrestle with a pig, you both get dirty, but the pig likes it. A sovereign does not defend himself against peasants. A lion does not turn around to bark at a dog. If you stop to throw stones at every dog that barks, you will never reach your destination. When the offense comes, and it will come, your weapon is silence. Your revenge is your continued success. Let them talk. You have a kingdom to build. The fourth form is the comparison. This is a subtle poison. You will be scrolling on your phone, feeling good about your progress, and suddenly you see it. Someone who is less qualified than you, someone who is less faithful than you, getting the exact blessing you prayed for. You see them with the car, the marriage, the ministry, the recognition. And physically, your gut drops. It feels like a punch in the stomach. You start scrolling faster, looking for flaws in their life to make yourself feel better. That moment is a portal leak. The moment you compare your chapter 5 to someone else's chapter 20, you are leaking your anointing. You are telling God that you do not trust His timing. Listen to me. Their harvest is not proof of your failure. Their harvest is a prophecy of your future. If God is doing it in the neighborhood, it means He is in the neighborhood. Do not get bitter. Get ready. These 4 external attacks, the distraction, the false alliance, the offense, and the comparison, are designed to drain your resources. They are the outer perimeter of the war. But here is the sobering truth. You can defeat all of these. You can ignore the distractions, you can cut off the fake friends, you can silence the haters, but you can still lose everything. Because the most lethal attacks are not the ones coming from the outside. The external attacks are easy to spot because they have faces and names, but there is a Trojan horse that has already been smuggled inside your gates. The thing that actually has the power to kill your destiny is not a person, and it is not a demon. It is a set of 3 specific internal mechanisms that are wired into your own psychology. These are the assassins that wake up the moment you sit on the throne. The external enemies can only delay you, but the internal enemies, they can disqualify you. They can strip the crown from your head after God Himself has placed it there. You need to lean in for this. Because the three forms of attack I am about to reveal are not demons you cast out. They are versions of your own ego that you must kill. The fifth form of confrontation is the spirit of pride. I am not talking about the loud, arrogant pride where you brag to everyone. That is too obvious. I am talking about the subtle, silent pride of the survivor. It happens the moment you start winning. You get the first check. You get the recognition. And suddenly, a very specific feeling washes over you. I want you to recognize this sensation. It starts in your chest. It feels like your lungs are expanding, taking up more space in the room. Your chin lifts just a fraction of an inch, and a quiet thought enters your mind. I did this. I survived. I figured it out. That thought is poison. The moment you think you are the source, you disconnect from the source. You become Nebuchadnezzar standing on the balcony, admiring the kingdom he built right before he lost his mind. When you feel that chest-puffing sensation, when you feel the urge to take credit for the miracle, you need to ground yourself immediately. Remind your spirit, I am not the source. I am the portal. Portals do not create the water, they just let it flow. If the portal becomes arrogant, the owner shuts the valve. The sixth form is premature celebration. This is where 90% of chosen ones fumble the ball at the 1-yard line. Here is the scenario. You have been in a battle for 5 years. You have been disciplined. You have been praying at 5 a.m. You have been fasting. You have been sharp. Then the breakthrough starts. You get the approval letter. The relationship is restored. The pain stops. And physically, your body does something dangerous. You exhale. You drop your shoulders. You release the tension. You tell yourself, I made it. I can relax now. I can skip the prayer time today. I can watch that show I used to watch. That relaxation is a trap. You mistake the first victory for the end of the war. David did not take off his armor after he killed Goliath. He knew that Goliath had brothers. If you drop your spiritual discipline just because the crisis is over, you are leaving the door wide open for a counterattack. The devil loves to hit you when you are celebrating, because that is when your shield is down. Do not celebrate until the harvest is fully in the barn. Stay sharp. Stay hungry. The celebration happens in heaven. The work happens here. The seventh form is the most seductive and the most deadly of all. It is nostalgia, or what I call the Lot's wife syndrome. We judge Lot's wife for turning back to look at Sodom. We think she was stupid. Why would she look back at a city that was burning? But you do the same thing. You are walking toward your new life, but there is a phantom ache in your soul. You miss the familiarity of your old dysfunction. See, the wilderness was painful, but it was predictable. You knew who you were in the wilderness, the victim, the one who struggles. It became your identity. The sovereign life is unknown. It is high altitude. It is scary. And on the hard days of your reign, when the responsibility feels heavy, you will feel a physical pull backward. Your mind will romanticize the past. You will think, it was simpler back then. At least I had my friends. At least I didn't have this pressure. That pull is the kiss of death. If you turn your head to look back at what God has delivered you from, you stop your momentum. And in the kingdom, if you stop moving, you calcify. You become a pillar of salt, frozen in time, a monument to what could have been. I am warning you as a prophet of God. Do not look back. Do not scroll through your ex's photos. Do not visit the old places that broke you. Do not romanticize the Egypt that enslaved you. There is nothing back there but ash. Your future is in front of you. Your crown is in front of you. So here we stand. We have diagnosed the symptoms. We have exposed the false summit. We have revealed the portal identity. We have equipped you with royal silence and stewardship. We have identified the 7 enemies. The briefing is complete. The file is closed. You now know everything you need to know. But knowledge is not power. Knowledge is just potential. Power comes from activation. There is one final thing we must do. We cannot leave this in the realm of information. We must stamp it into the realm of your spirit. We need to seal this shift so that when you wake up tomorrow morning, you do not revert to the old version of yourself. We are going to perform a spiritual activation ceremony. I need you to be in a place where you can focus completely for the next 60 seconds. If you are driving, pull over. If you are lying down, sit up. We are about to approach the throne room to receive your commission. This is the moment the last 10 years of your life have been leading up to. Every tear, every betrayal, every lonely night, and every moment of doubt was simply the crushing of the olive to produce the oil. You entered this video as a survivor. You are leaving it as a sovereign. But before we seal this, I need you to understand the gravity of what is about to happen. This is not a YouTube video ending. This is a spiritual contract being signed. In the next few moments, we are going to go before the courts of heaven. We are going to legally shift your status in the spirit realm. We are going to formally retire your victim identity and inaugurate your portal identity. Do not take this lightly. The words we are about to speak are legislative. They will program the atmosphere of your next 40 days. I want you to shift your focus inward right now. If you are in a place where you can be still, be still. If you are moving, lock your mind onto my voice. Do not let a single distraction enter your mental space. Visualize yourself standing in a great hall. The noise of the world is behind you. The opinions of your family are behind you. The trauma of your past is behind you. You are facing forward. You are standing before the King of Kings. We are going to activate the 1% frequency. We are going to seal the royal silence. We are going to authorize the stewardship of wealth. And we are going to break the neck of the spirit of nostalgia so you never look back again. Prepare your spirit. The transition happens now. I want you to stand up on the inside. In your mind's eye, see yourself rising to your feet. Straighten your spiritual spine, shoulders back, head high. You are not a beggar asking for bread. You are an heir claiming your territory. In the name that is above every name, the name of Yeshua, the King of Glory, we call this session to order. We declare that the portals of heaven are open over this specific frequency right now. We acknowledge that this is a divine appointment, ordained before the foundations of the earth. Father, I present to you this chosen one. You know their name. You know their story. Lord, you saw them in the wilderness. You saw the nights they cried into their pillow when no one else was watching. You saw the betrayal that almost broke their mind. You saw